thought I'd kind of show you what my kitchen setup is. This is my kitchen. Everything I need, minus the skillets. Everything else is in here. I've got a tablecloth if I need it, which I really haven't lately. My oven mitt and a pot handle cover. This is pretty much all I need. It looks slim, I guess, but I'm not doing, well, I am doing full-on cooking sometimes. This is my percolator. Then I boil water to make coffee, hot chocolate, or boil water to make wash my dishes up. I really need to scrub it. I usually coat that with some Dawn before I start cooking on the fire, and that black stuff will wash off easily. I don't have Dawn with me this time. I've got some cheap stuff, and it doesn't work great. But anyway, I've got a couple spatulas. I threw this in here. I may not even keep that, but I threw that in from my camper in case I needed it. A couple spatulas, a spoon, or if I do chili or something, a can opener, a fork thingy. I don't know what you call that thing. Just your basic utensils. Salt and pepper just stays in here. With a teeny tiny skillet if I need to do something that if I don't have this with me. So this stays actually in the house. I always pack it every time I go. That one and that one as well. But if I did not grab those two, I have this little skillet that I can use. Paper towels, bowls, mixing bowls, cereal bowls, some plates, 2 regular plates, and then 2 divided plates. This little thingy that I drink milk out of. This I bring along for someone else because I pretty much always bring this with me wherever I go. We've got a washcloth and a dry towel. Paper towels, some plastic bags. I need to put some leftovers or something in, bacon or whatever. This right here, this is Bounty paper towels that is infused with Dawn dishwashing liquid. I cut them in half and put them in here, and I can take one of these out, wet it, and then clean up my dishes easily. Usually I can get 2 uses out of it before I have to throw it away, and it holds up really well. It doesn't break down or fall apart. Well, it's a little bit easier than having to fill up a pan of water, so that's great. I got a whole roll of that at home, so this has gone a long way. And those geese are really loud. Honkers. But everything nestles in pretty well. This, again, I have not used that since I threw it in here, I don't think. I'll leave it for now. I'm going to leave this out since it's damp. I need it to dry. But everything just fits in rather nicely. And there it is. My kitchen. Alright, to make a biscuit when out camping and you don't have like an oven or anything, you can do it on a fire. And all I've done is I've mixed up some Bisquick, because it's the easiest, with water. Now, on the package to make biscuits, they suggest milk, and I guess actually I could, but I'm doing this with the assumption that you're out in the wilderness or somewhere where you would not have milk. It works fine with water. So anyway, I did not measure it. I just poured some in a bowl, and I'm adding enough water to make it into a stiff dough. Alright, the next thing I do is I will get my fire, of course, established, which I have done over there. And then I heat the pan just enough to melt some butter in it, just to keep that biscuit from sticking. And it'll taste yummy too. Alright, now I'm gonna take that biscuit dough And I'm going to dump it in here if I can. It doesn't have to be a pretty biscuit. If you wanted it to be pretty, then you'd have to use a little more of the Bisquick mix and make it look like a regular biscuit. The secret to this, when I say you don't need an oven, is because you're fixing to make an oven out of this skillet. Let's go over here. And because this is takes the longest, I go ahead and get my biscuit started first. Now I don't want it over a direct flame. It's pretty high because it cause it to burn. All right, with this over here, I'm going over this smaller little flame back here. I'm going to put this bowl. I happen to find a bowl that fits the skillet just perfectly. Now that becomes an oven. Now I'll keep an eye on that while I'm doing my eggs and bacon and stuff. I'm going to do 2 pieces of bacon and a piece of sausage. Now that looks like 4, but it's because I cut them in half just so they'll fit the skillet better. Main thing to do is keep an eye on that fire. You don't want it too big where it's scorching stuff, and you don't want it to die out on you. So you just have to keep an eye on it and keep adding to it as needed. And I think I'm going to have cheesy scrambled eggs. So I'll go ahead and whip up my eggs and get them ready. I've cracked my 2 eggs into the bowl that I had the biscuit dough in. I did my salt and pepper. I love these little grinders. And while I'm over here, I'm going to go ahead and rotate this pan just a little bit to make sure that this biscuit is evenly cooked. We'll do that. Okie doke. Wow, look. It's looking good. And with this outside cooking, you don't have to worry about splattering grease. Doesn't matter if it gets everywhere else out here. No countertop cleanup, no stovetop cleanup. Alright, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and get done is water for coffee. It'll get out of there. And I just use my handy dandy aluminum percolator is what it is. Campfire percolator. And if any of you have one of these, it took me a little bit, but I realized this little bump out on the side right here serves a purpose. There's only one. You put it on this opposite side of the way where you pour, so that when you're tipping this up, the top won't fall out of it. That little bump keeps it sitting there. All right, let's go put this on the fire. I'm just gonna set it off over here out of the way. I don't really want to get grease on it, so I'm gonna put it over there, and whenever I get done cooking, I'll move it onto the fire. Probably need to do a little bit of fire maintenance, maybe. I'll move some stuff around and stoke it back up. Alright, let's look at the biscuit. It's kind of hot. Oh yeah, it's starting to rise. It's looking pretty good. You know what? I might need to flip it. Let's flip this baby over. Yeah, look at that. That looks good. Alright, I'm going to put the top back on. Let that continue. Let me go get a plate so I can put my meat on there. Ouch. I also need to bring my handle cover. It's a beautiful day today. Yesterday was a pretty day. It started out real cold, but I warmed it through the day. The little heater I have in the Suburban did great. In fact, I ended up turning it off during the night. It got so warm. I think that's pretty done. I've been using these little slip-on handle covers, which are great. They're better than those gloves. Smaller, they pack pack better. Alright, I've pulled up my bacon and sausage, and I want to check my biscuit to see how close it is to being done. And see whether I should go ahead and start my eggs. That has gotten pretty hot, that lid. Whoop. Oh, look at that. That looks nice. The thing is to check the middle to make sure it's done all the way through. And it is. My biscuit is ready. Alright, I'm going to cover that. Ouch. Oh man, I just tore it up. Oh well. I'm going to set this aside. Just going to set it right over here on the ground. And I'm going to move my fire over here a little bit, I think. No, actually, that's perfect. I'm going to move my water, my little pot there, over so that it can boil. Get my water going for coffee. Alright, next is the eggs. I prefer cooking my eggs in butter, so I dump that extra grease out. That was from the bacon and the sausage. And I put me a little pat of butter in there. Just a little, you know. Not a whole stick, although that would be tasty. We'll let that get melted, and then I'll be adding in the eggs. I decided that I want to make some white gravy to go on my biscuit and stuff. So I'm going to hold off on the eggs just now. I'm going to try to get this water boiling so that I can make the gravy. And then I'll be back to the eggs. I had to stoke up the fire a little bit. I'm not crazy about this fire grate, this grill grate. I would rather have seen it not be so thick on the side. It makes it hard poking stuff up under here without burning me. I've seen them where they're made with just a thin edge, just enough to hold these metal rods. That seems to work better. Anyway, yesterday the trouble I had was the fire was down low, and this just sat up too high for me to get the heat that I was looking for. Now today it's not so much, but still it makes it hard to feed the thing. I'm just using this Pioneer Country Gravy Mix. I dumped whatever was left in that in the bowl. Gonna add water. To make it thicken up and do right, you have to put it back on the heat. That's what the instructions are. So I'm just going to kind of hold it here and let it do its thing. Actually, I think what I'll do now, I think I'm just going to set this over here to the side. Let it do its thing while I cook my eggs. Alright, I've got some more water going. And I'm letting this thicken up, and I'm going to do the eggs. Hope the skillet is heated back up some. Yeah, that'll work. The hardest part about this whole thing, to be honest, is keeping the fire just right. But trying to keep it at the right level, not too much, not too little, because otherwise it'll stall out like the eggs are doing right now. My puppy's already had her breakfast, but look at this. She said, I want some of yours, Mom. I want some of your breakfast. Oh, goodness. Oh. Alright, the eggs are done. I'm going to put the sausage and bacon back in the skillet to warm back up because I let them get cold. I'm trying to do all this and video. It takes a little bit longer. So I'm going to let that heat back up. Let's check this gravy over here. Oh yeah, it's obviously thicker. Got real thick, in fact. Not much gravy. That's alright. We'll deal with it. My gravy didn't make a whole lot. I added some water to it and got a little bit more. So I ended up halving the biscuit. I got half of it on here and left half of it in the skillet for now. I'm going to, and I put my eggs, my sausage, my bacon on here. I'm going to pour this gravy on top, and then I'm going to top it with cheese. And there it is. And somehow I've ended up with 2 forks. But I don't need but one. And there's a lot to eat. Uh-oh, better get my fire going. I gotta have coffee after this. Well, I ate my breakfast. I ate every last bit of it. I didn't think I could, but I did. And I still got this other half a biscuit. I decided I would go ahead and put syrup on it and eat it now. I thought I might do something a little different, but this sounds good. I've already made up my coffee. I've got it waiting on me there, and I went ahead and got a glass of milk, or a cup of milk. Anyway, I'm heating up some more water so I can wash my dishes properly. I've been just using the cold water out of the spigot, but it doesn't cut the grease very well. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up my biscuit and then clean up my dishes, and then I'll relax. There is something exciting in that culvert. I don't know what it is. I think it might be a cat because I saw one going in there yesterday. However, it might be a skunk, and I'd really... Dottie, get out of there. Come here. Come here. No, no. Leave it. Leave it. She's a rat terrier. So this is her thing, is going into holes and getting stuff. Dottie, get out of there.